Who is the Duke of Kent? Today we celebrate the 88th birthday of Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent, a remarkable individual who holds a unique position in the British royal family as the oldest living blood relative of Queen Elizabeth II. While Queen Elizabeth I has undoubtedly secured her place as the longest reigning British monarch in history, the Duke of Kent, Prince Edward, stands out as the eldest living blood relative within the British royal family. This distinction marks a significant role in the lineage of the monarchy. Prince Edward, a cousin to both the late Queen and Prince Philip, has proven to be one of the most dedicated and hardworking members of the royal family. His unwavering commitment to duty is evident in his own words. "I always felt I wanted to support her. That's by far the most important thing in life." This devotion to the Queen and his role as a royal servant has been a cornerstone of his life. Although the Duke of Kent may not be as widely recognized as some of his more prominent royal counterparts, he has had a noteworthy and diverse career. He is not just a royal by birthright, he is also an army veteran, a daring driver, and an enthusiastic tennis aficionado. His multifaceted personality continues to captivate royal watchers to this day. Prince Edward's life began in London's Belgravia in 1935, in the same home where his parents resided. He was named after his elder brother, Edward, who would later become king. His father was the younger brother of both King George and the former King Edward VI, while his mother, Princess Marina of Greece and Denmark, was the niece of Prince Andrew of Greece and Denmark, who was the father of the Duke of Edinburgh. At his christening held at Buckingham Palace, 9-year-old Princess Elizabeth, his cousin and the future queen, was present, along with King George V and Queen Mary, who served as his godparents, and the then Prince of Wales. A year later, on Christmas Day, his sister Princess Alexandra was born, followed by the birth of Prince Michael 6 years later. Tragedy struck the family when Prince George, their father, died in a mysterious plane crash while serving in the RAF during wartime. This tragedy occurred less than 2 months after the birth of his youngest son, Prince Michael. At just 6 years old, Edward inherited the title of Duke of Kent and was thrust into the spotlight following his father's shocking death. Prince Edward received his education at Eton and later in Switzerland. In 1951, at the age of 16, he embarked on his first overseas tour to Singapore, accompanied by his devoted mother. This trip served as an ideal opportunity for the young Duke to learn the duties that would define his future as a senior royal. However, it was at Queen Elizabeth's coronation that Prince Edward faced his first significant challenge as a key member of the royal family. He was seated alongside Prince Philip and his uncle, Prince Henry, as one of the 3 royal dukes responsible for paying homage to the Queen. At the coronation, he solemnly vowed to be his cousin's liege man of life and limb, a promise he has faithfully kept in the subsequent decades. Prince Edward's military career began in 1953 when he entered the Royal Military Academy at Sandhurst. This marked the beginning of a distinguished 21-year military service, during which he served with honor in conflict zones such as Northern Ireland and Cyprus. The Duke's daredevil nature extended beyond the battlefield. In June 1954, at the age of 18, he survived a head-on collision, albeit with a concussion. 3 months later, his car collided with a fallen tree, resulting in a minor injury above his right eye. However, the most perilous incident occurred in July 1955 when, at just 19 years old, his convertible crashed into a tree and plunged into a ditch near Sandhurst. The Duke emerged with bleeding and bruised, having to crawl out of the wrecked car. Witnesses marveled at his luck in escaping with his life. He spent over a week in the hospital but eventually graduated from Sandhurst. In a more recent accident in June 2019, the Duke's Jaguar collided with a Mini driven by a university student. The young woman described her terrifying ordeal as the Duke allegedly pulled out in front of her car, forcing her to slam on the brakes and collide with the central reservation. Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent, is a royal figure whose life has been filled with duty, adventure, and dedication to the British royal family. As he celebrates his 88th birthday today, we reflect on the unique role he plays as the oldest living blood relative of Queen Elizabeth II and his enduring commitment to his royal responsibilities. It was in the 1950s, during his time at the Yorkshire base of his regiment, the Royal Scots Greys, that the Duke of Kent's path crossed with the woman who would eventually become his life partner. The Duke's romantic involvement with Catherine Worsley, the daughter of a Yorkshire landowner, was nothing short of a fairy tale. Their love story was often compared to the timeless narratives of Wuthering Heights or Jane Eyre. Fast forward to 1961, and the world watched as the couple exchanged vows, marking a significant event in the House of Windsor. This was more than a decade before the highly publicized union of Prince Charles and Princess Diana. Their wedding day was a grand affair, with thousands of well-wishers lining the 23-mile route from York Minster, the wedding venue, to Catherine's family estate. Her wedding gown was a stunning creation made from 250 yards of organdy, woven with intricate silver thread. Following their nuptials, the newlyweds embarked on a honeymoon in a secluded Majorcan villa before celebrating the arrival of their first child the following year. George, Earl of Standrews, was the first to join the family in 1962, followed by Lady Helen in 1964 and Lord Nicholas 6 years later. Among their grandchildren is the socialite Lady Amelia Windsor. However, tragedy struck in 1975 when the Duchess contracted German measles while pregnant and had to undergo an abortion. 2 years later, another pregnancy ended tragically with a stillbirth, plunging the Duchess into a severe depression that led to a 7-week hospitalization. The Duke's relationship with his wife also faced challenges, and there were reports of his consultation with Queen Elizabeth II regarding the possibility of a divorce. The Queen's alleged advice to work on their marriage ultimately led to their continued partnership. The Duchess's health struggles persisted as she was diagnosed with Epstein-Barr virus, which exhibited symptoms similar to ME or chronic fatigue syndrome and celiac disease, hindering her ability to process gluten. Her faith provided solace during these trying times, and in 1994, she converted to Roman Catholicism. The Duke, remaining Anglican, occasionally attended Mass with her at Westminster Cathedral. Though officially still together, the couple has lived separately for many years. Catherine chose to forego her HRH title, preferring to be addressed by her first name rather than her Duchess title. Their official residence is Wren House at Kensington Palace. The Duke's life was predominantly dedicated to royal duties, involving his commitment to 140 different charities, organizations, and professional bodies. He gained recognition as the president of the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club from 1969, an annual Wimbledon fixture where he presented trophies to champions and runners-up. His tenure as president came to an end in 2021, concluding over 5 decades of involvement. The Duke represented the monarch on numerous overseas trips and served as vice chairman of the Overseas Trade Board and later British Trade International from 1976 to 2001. His closeness to Queen Elizabeth II was evident when he stepped in as her escort at Trooping the Colour in May 2021, following the passing of Prince Philip the previous month. This was followed by his presence by the Queen's side during her Platinum Jubilee celebrations. While the Duke's children and his brother Prince Michael have faced public scrutiny in the past, he has remained relatively under the radar, living up to the affectionate Steady Eddie nickname bestowed upon him by his family. In his book, the Duke eloquently expressed his unwavering support for the Queen, emphasizing the paramount importance of duty in his life. His heartfelt words, "I always felt I wanted to support her. That's by far the most important thing in life," resonated with many. At 88 years old, the Duke of Kent walked behind Queen Elizabeth I's coffin as it made its solemn journey to Westminster Abbey, a poignant moment that mirrored a similar duty he performed 70 years earlier at the funeral of his uncle, King George VI, the Queen's father. Dear friend, if you like everything new about the royal family and don't want to miss all the novelties, subscribe to our channel and like it. By doing so, you take part in our development. We work for you.